What is going on, Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and today, join me as I do a countdown of my top 10 most favorite omnibuses. Omnibus. Omnibuy. Whatever you call it. This is something that a lot of my viewers have been wanting me to do for a long time, and I finally sat and thought about it, so here we go. Countdown begins. Now, let's lay out some rules, because there has to be rules when you do something like this. I'm sticking only to omnibuses. I can't pick things like Fall of the Mutants oversized hardcover or an absolute like Sandman, and that's the way that I own them. So this is all subjective too. This is all my favorite, my top 10 favorite. I would love to know what yours are, so leave those comments down below, and I'll also put it on our social media like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and that's at NearMintCon. And like I said, it's my personal favorite, so I went with art, stories that made me happy, stories that meant something to me where I was at a point in my life. But anyway, you don't need to know all that. If you want to know more about me, I think some of you all, maybe one of you all, have been wanting to know how I started reading comics or why I started reading comics and what brought me back. I can do those kind of episodes or segments in December. Man, I'm really lining up December because I'm doing my top 30 most wanted X-Men omnibus. Anyway! Here's a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. Right now, they are currently running their Halloween horror sale, offering up to 80% off 450 spine-tingling titles. This sale runs through October 31st while supplies last. Some of the deals this week include BPRD Hell on Earth Volume 1 hardcover, originally $34.99, but at 50% off, it's $17.49. As well as the Crimson Complete Omnibus. The retail price is $125, but at 50% off, it is $62.50. You can find the sale by clicking on the banner on Cheap Graphic Novels homepage or by clicking in the link in the description below. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. Alright, kicking off the list with number 10, Annihilation Conquest. Now, I know Annihilation just got reprinted, but this was my cosmic event that I thought just blew everything out of the water. This brought back the Guardians of the Galaxy from, actually, not just even the Guardians of the Galaxy that we knew, but a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy from obscurity, like a lot of characters like Rocket Raccoon, Groot, characters that have never been in the Guardians of the Galaxy, and made a complete team. This is the way to own them in this omnibus format. It has the crossover event. It has the issues of Nova. Oh my god, I absolutely love this. And I know that Marvel... this went out of print a couple of years ago, so hopefully, with the sales of the reprint of Annihilation, it'll warrant a reprint of Annihilation Conquest. Let's put them over here. Number 9, Doom Patrol. This is so quirky. If you've watched the TV show, find out why this book is so awesome. This is Grant Morrison's run on Doom Patrol. I believe it has issues 19 through 60? Oh, 63, and the Doom Patrol special. It's all in this giant omnibus. It's huge. I love it. The binding could use a little work, but it's a great read if you've never read it. They've also released them in oversized hardcovers, too. And that is Doom Patrol. Moving on to number 8. It's not a joke. It's not a joke, everybody. I know I go on about how great New Warriors is, but there's a reason for that. New Warriors to me holds a special place in my heart. It is the epitome of what a great 90s comic should be, the epitome of what a hidden gem is, because there's a lot of people that haven't read this because they're like, oh, a bunch of teenagers in the 90s. No thanks. But it is Fabian Icios's best work, Mark Bagley on artwork, and then a little bit of Derek Robertson in here because this has the first 26 issues and the annuals. But man, I hope there's an Omnibus Volume 2 coming out. I know this one's out of print. Some of these will probably be out of print, and I'm so sorry. I'm not flexing. I swear. It's just these happen to be my favorite. Best run on Avengers. Come at me. Kurt Busiek. Omnibus Volume 1. Volume 2 is phenomenal too. But Volume 1 has Avengers Forever, which happens to be one of my personal favorite maxi series that did away with a lot of bad stuff that happened in the Avengers. It's pretty much retconning a lot of things and explaining why things happen, but this is one of my favorites. This one's also out of print, and I'm so sorry about that. But if you have a chance to get that in Volume 2, and it is, to me, the best run of Avengers. Another team book, JSA, Volume 1. This is the series that made me a JSA fan. I also left out Starman Omnibus. By the way, this would have been on here if it was a proper omnibus, but it's not. Omnibuses to me have to be a certain height, a certain width, and that omnibus is like a standard size hardcover. So until they release a real proper omnibus, I'm sticking with JSA Volume 1. This kicks off David Goyer's run, and then eventually James Robinson, and then, of course, Jeff Johns. And this is where I got my first taste of Jeff Johns in this magnificent omnibus that introduced me to a lot of characters I didn't think I would ever give a crap about, a lot of the Golden Age stuff, and I ended up falling in love with the series. Man, just Wildcat, Black Canary, Adam, and then Adam Smasher, just Hourman, Hawkman, Stargirl. Jesus. So many amazing moments in that series. And Volume 2 is out of print, but this one's still in stock, so get it while you can. Another DC book, Gotham Central. It's all collected in here. This is Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka teaming up together for what is just magic. It's lightning in a bottle. It's I don't know if it'll ever happen again. It's the police department in Gotham City. The night shift is written by Greg Rucka. The day shift is written by Ed Brubaker, and it is phenomenal. If you have not read this collects every single issue, all 40 issues that ties into Infinite Crisis, believe it or not. So get this. I think that's still in stock. One that's out of stock, out of print, but easy to find in a way sometimes. Deadpool and Cable. False. The real title of this is Cable and Deadpool, but because of the popularity of Deadpool, they decided to put him at the top billing. But this is Cable and Deadpool. As a matter of fact, this collects every single issue of Cable and Deadpool except for the Return miniseries, which Fabian Nicieza. So this is another Fabian Nicieza on here. I thought Chris Claremont was my favorite writer. But anyway, Fabian Nicieza, top of his game, bringing these two characters like bosom buddies. Oh, it's phenomenal. All 50 issues plus the special. It is wonderful. There's some great artwork by Udon Studios. Riley Brown eventually takes over. Mark Brooks. Matthew Ryan, I think. But anyway, it is Patrick Zurcher. That's who it was. Phenomenal. A must read. It's hilarious. It's heartwarming. It's everything you want in a story. Now, this one's a little bit different, but I have to mention it because it is one of my favorite reads, and it is the reason why I turned into such a Conan fan. And I'm glad that Marvel is releasing the actual Marvel years in omnibus format. But this is Colossal Conan, and yes, it is bigger. Probably should not sit on top of that. It is bigger than your average omnibus. It's huge. It's all 50 issues, 0 through 50 of Kurt Busiek's run. It is phenomenal. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. Gary Nord does the artwork in this. Dave Stewart does the coloring. It is, however, the one probably from this list that is impossible to find because it's once a week I get a question if I ever see Marvel reprinting something like this. They're doing these in epic formats. I have no idea if they'll ever do anything like this because this was Dark Horse's thing. This huge colossal books like Sin City, Big Damn Sin City was the same way. But this is what made me into such a Conan fan. Yes, I love the Schwarzenegger movies. Not so much the Jason Momoa movie. But anyway, these are, if you want to read these, they're being collected in epic editions. If you're lucky enough to find this in the wild, I wish you a good journey because this is one of those that is really, really hard to find, but it's so beautiful. And I think I've read this 3 times and it's freaking huge. I thought this book was huge. Infinite Crisis. But get the recent printing because the first printing has this really tight binding and it kind of feels like a mousetrap. But anyway, this is a wonderful story. It is my favorite event at DC. It collects every single tie-in and every single miniseries leading up to the event. It collects ongoing series that lead up to event that lets you kind of get a glimpse as to what's going on behind the scenes. Of course, you would enjoy this a lot more if you had read Crisis on Infinite Earths, but this is, to me, the epitome of what a phenomenal crossover event, a huge event should be, and it is here, and that is Infinite Crisis by Jeff Johns, artwork by Phil Jimenez. And last, but certainly not least, because this is my number 1 pick. Did I stop numbering them? Damn, I stopped numbering them, didn't I? I said 10, 9, 8, maybe I got the 7. Did I say 6? Anyway, so recap. For those that have ever wondered if this show is scripted, You all know better if you've been watching for a long time. Hell no, this isn't scripted. I have to make some cuts sometimes. I forgot to keep the countdown. So, a recap, here we go. Number 10, Annihilation Conquest. Number 9, Doom Patrol by Grant Morrison. Number 8, New Warriors by Fabian Nicieza. Number 7, Avengers by Kurt Busiek. Number 6, JSA Omnibus by Jeff Johns, David Goyer, James Robinson. Number 5, Gotham Central. Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka. Number 4, Deadpool and Cable. Cable and Deadpool. Number 3, Colossal Conan. Number 2, Infinite Crisis. Leading to my number 1, which is Uncanny X-Men Volume 3. Now, some of you that have been watching the channel for a couple of years probably think that my favorite book of all time is, of course, Uncanny X-Men Volume 1. It was my very first omnibus. But the more I thought about it, this book means so much more to me, because this in here has issue 168, which is my very first comic book I ever got as a kid. And that's the one where Kitty Pryde is leaning up against the wall, and it's the first appearance of Madeline Pryor. Means nothing to anybody unless you're a Madeline Pryor Goblin Queen fan. It also has my favorite X-Men story, which some of you all probably know, is God Loves, Man Kills. But this also has the Wolverine miniseries. It is absolutely perfect. You have Dave Cockrum returning back on X-Men. This contains X-Men 154 through 175. So it takes us all the ways to From the Ashes, which all of that is done by Paul Smith. Frank Miller on Wolverine. You get the Magic miniseries and a couple of annuals. And it's all collected in this wonderful book. Storm fighting for leadership of the Morlocks when she's depowered. Oh my god. This is my X-Men. This to me. Until we get a volume 4 maybe. But no, this forever will be one of my most favorite omnibus. My number 1 most favorite omnibus. And that is volume 3. By the way, I always get the variant covers. I really don't collect the DM covers. But, you know, I'll take what I can get. So if I can find it, if you can find it in the wild, get either one of the covers. This one's probably the easier one to get because this was available everywhere, like Amazon and Barnes & Noble, while the DM cover is only available at comic book shops or cheap graphic novels or in-stock trades. But here's my number 1. Now, I would love to know your list. You can leave those comments down below what your 10 most favorite omnibuses are. Again, you know, just base it on whatever you want to, whether it's like how many times you read it and enjoyed it, how much you enjoy oversized artwork, what the story means to you, or if it's still sealed and it's just one of your wells. Because I know a lot of people judge it on that, like, oh, I found Colossal Conan, but I've never read it, and it's still sealed. You know, whatever, that's cool. Whatever makes it your top 10, it is your choice. Thank you, Minties, for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. Again, join us on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, at NearMintCon. We are also on Redbubble, where you can get our logo on t-shirts and stickers, or you can support us through Patreon if you enjoy the content of this channel. Now, the rest of the week, I got the upcoming Batgirl reading order, and then collected editions coming out in the month of December of 2020. And that is pretty much it for me. This guy wanted to come here and say hello. Hey, do you want to say bye? I'm signing off, man. Come on. This is Strider. He used to do the collected editions books with me, or upcoming collected editions. But look how big he's gotten. He's not a puppy. Well, no, he's still a puppy. But anyway, Strider, named after the video game and one of my favorite characters from Lord of the Rings. Now, say it, man. If it's classy and cool, it must be near mint.